Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Mamboleo TV, your number one interactive TV station. I am Godon Oduor. I will be your host for the next 30 minutes for the rest of the bulletin. And our focus of our today's bulletin will be on the Constitution and constitutionalism, especially putting our focus on the 2010 Constitution. And that is through our weekly segment, The Dissect. But before then, let me take you through our top stories tonight. On to our top stories. Youth unrest. 10 youth critically injured, pockets of youths arrested as the anti-7-term presidential term limit gains momentum in the city streets.
Gloria Royo, correspondent from Mamboleo TV. A chaos erupted this morning within the city center as youths engaged the police in running battles as they were protesting against an attempt by the legislatives to increase the presidential term limit from current 5 years term to 7 years term, citing there are more serious issues that ought to be dealt with as a nation. As opposed to presidential term limit debate, the chaos saw the arrest of pockets, while 10 were left critically injured and rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital.
Golden Ages gift bag. It's a golden gift bag as the government, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, commits through an act of parliament to increase the monthly elderly stipend allocation from 2,000 Kenyan shillings to 3,000. The government, through the CS Labour and Social Protection, announced this during the World Elderly Day celebration that was marked at Karatina Grounds in Nyeri County. We later did an inclusive interview with one of the beneficiaries to be able to get more insight about the cash transfer stipend for the elderly.
Gloria Royo, a correspondent from Mamboleo TV. The proposed amendment of the Social Welfare Act that will see an increment of cash transfer to the elderly from current 2,000 Kenyan shillings to 3,000 Kenyan shillings will be a serious boost to the elderly beneficiaries who for the longest time have cried foul that the current allocation is not enough to meet their daily needs. Speaking during Golden Ages Day, the Labour and Social Protection CS announced the plans through an act of parliament to increase monthly stipend for the elderly.
We'll take a commercial break and we'll be back. We'll be back with more other stories. Stay tuned. Don't go far away. Children Bill 2022, reprieve for single mothers. End of an era for deadbeat fathers as President finally assents to the much anticipated Children's Bill of 2022.
It's good news for the single mothers as they will no longer have to bear the responsibility of raising the children on their own after presidential assent of the 2022 Children's Bill into law that will legally hold on to account men and father children, with them to fully take up responsibility or otherwise face a jail term of 25 years or an alternative bond of 500,000 shillings. An interview with the Children's Affair helped to understand this law into context. I'm yours correspondent, Josephine, Mamboleo TV.
Devolution 6 came to a close this afternoon with a common declaration amongst county chiefs to have a common economic integration that spurs industrialization, trade, and investment, with an aim of creating more job opportunities to increase exportations, spur industrialization, and make use of local resources in a bid to fight poverty at the county level.
Gloria Royo, correspondent from Mamboleo TV. The Devolution 6 of 2024 came to a close this afternoon with a major economic integration declaration by the county chiefs with an aim to reduce the impact of poverty within their specific counties through integration on areas of trade investment in order to create job and business opportunities. Speaking during the closure, the Deputy President promised the county chiefs that the government will increase allocations to the counties to help them realize their economic charter in order to reduce the level of poverty at the counties.
Devolution 6 that ended today equally highlighted the measures the county chiefs are undertaking to address the effects of drought in order to mitigate food insecurity and the push to declare drought a national disaster in order to put more emphasis and budgetary allocation on food production and to give us further highlights on what the constitution has done in order to address food insecurity is our food expert, Mr. Masharia.
The prolonged drought season has posed a major challenge to food insecurity, drawing the attention of the county chiefs who, during the annual devolution conference that came to a closure this afternoon, declared drought a national disaster that ought to be dealt with by the national government for the safety of food security. The CS of Agriculture, in the end of the conference, put up necessary measures that the government has put forth to address the emerging threat, including introduction of GMOs to counties to make us understand the impact and measures to address it as outlined in 2010 Constitution is food and security export. I was your correspondent, Michelle Mwende.
Devolution 6, the economic chapter. Council of Governors Annual Conference declares an economic charter through inter-county economic integration in bid to strengthen county economies and minimize poverty at the counties.
Youth empowerment and job creation amongst the youth are one of the key areas the 2010 Constitution tried as much as to address by uplifting the status of middle-level tertiary institution to technical vocational training institute with massive funding from the government for young people to gain hands-on skills that they can use in many of the government programs and projects, including the housing project through affordable housing scheme by gaining necessary skills in masonry, electrical, and plumbing in bid to curb the gap of unemployment amongst young people. Equally, the Constitution has given the young people a stake in constitutional making process and slots in the county assembly as representatives of different key sectors. If that is of interest of young people, the same Constitution has given young people with business 30% of government tender slots. However, all this seems not to be implemented from the report we did that comprised of interviews with young people and random streets interviews. Let's take a listen. I am your correspondent, Michelle Mwende.
On to our special feature tonight, The Dissect, our interactive TV program, comes in shortly after the break, with our focus being on the gains of 2010 Constitution, citing on health, education, and general infrastructure. "2010 Constitution, a rebirth to democracy." Katiba Yetu initiative marks 10 years of active activism on constitutional implementation and general governance, citing 2010 Constitution, a rebirth to democracy.
Katiba Yetu initiative marked 10 years of activism on constitutional reforms, implementation marked by pomp and colors, attended by different stakeholders in the public and private, practice graced by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu and Attorney General Dorcas Odhiambo at Kikao Chetu Center. The Executive Director, Katiba Yetu Initiative, urged the Executive, Legislature, and Judiciary to work hand in hand to help realize full implementation of 2010 Constitution. I am your correspondent, Michelle Mwende.
Thank you for tuning in to Mamboleo TV. And remember to catch up with us on our social media handles and give us your feedback through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Mamboleo TV. I was your host, Gordon Oduor. Enjoy the rest of the viewing. Food security has become a major challenge in most nations, and many nations have devised different mechanisms to address it. In relation to the 2010 Constitution, there has been several litigated efforts to mitigate food insecurity. And with us is my guests who will be able to take us through on issues with food insecurity, what causes food insecurity, and how the 2010 Constitution has been able to address food matters to do with food insecurity. So, karibu sana sir.
Thank you so much.
So, you'll tell us your name and your occupation.
My name is James Mungi, a food and nutrition specialist. And what I can say is that the 2010 Constitution is among the most progressive in the world. And it makes Kenya stand among the nations that are moving forward in the right direction, and especially in pursuit of Vision 2030. As far as food security is concerned, one aspect that comes out clearly is devolution, whereby agriculture is devolved to the counties, and the county governments have the freedom and the creativity to involve the public and the farmers in production of food, especially the provision of inputs such as seeds and fertilizers, and young crops and seedlings in different parts of the country has made food less of a problem in terms of production and also in terms of raising a healthy population. The other bit is legislation, where Parliament has come up with laws that favor the production of genetically modified organisms, such that regardless of the climate or regardless of the weather conditions, it's now possible to provide and produce food throughout the year or throughout the various seasons.
Hi, habari yako?
Nzuri.
You're well? What's your name?
I'm Benedict.
Benedict. So Benedict, what do you do?
Mimi ni mfanya biashara mdogo.
Okay.
Kijana natafuta maisha bado.
Biashara gani?
Mimi mfanya biashara ya kuuza manguo.
Okay.
Lakini sasa hivi sidhani kama biashara iko vizuri juu ya mvua inanyesha sana.
Hii biashara umefanya kwa muda gani?
Hii biashara sasa na mwaka wangu wa pili.
Okay.
Toka nilimaliza form 4.
Okay.
Sijapata kazi na then mzazi hapo afford pesa.
Okay.
So nimekuwa tukifanya biashara
ndogo. Now, according to the 2010 Constitution, wewe umesoma hiyo Constitution vile, si ndio? Na kuna zile provisions ambazo zinasaidia vijana kama hivi kuimarisha biashara zetu. Wewe jinsi ambavyo unaona hiyo Constitution, wewe kama kijana imekusaidia
kama mfanya biashara? Constitution ya 2010 sioni kama imenisaidia kufikia maisha. Maana hii kutoka nani katiba iliwekwa, vijana tupate kazi, tupate ajira. Vijana huko wanauza madawa, wamekuwa wengi. So nilikuwa naomba serikali kama inaweza tusaidia. Vijana kwanza wapate kazi. Ndio avoid mambo mengi wizi. Vijana wetu wanachomwa huko wangapi huko wengi juu ya wizi, hawana kazi. Sasa tulikuwa naomba sisi kama Gen Z, muone vile mnaweza tusaidia nyinyi kama serikali. Kama serikali.
Na swali lingine ambalo ukiangalia katiba yenyewe kuna kile kipengele ambacho kinapatia vijana 30%, serikali inapatia vijana, inafaa ipatie vijana 30% of the government tender. Unaona hiyo ikifanyika kweli?
Hiyo sioni ikifanyika. Hiyo kwanza ilisemekana kitambo sana. Wakapea tu vijana hofu. Sasa hivi mpaka leo hatuoni faida yote. So vijana wetu wanaingia kufanya biashara illegal huko nje. Wanashikwa kila siku juu ya vitu kama hivi.
So wewe kulingana na wewe, hii 2010 Constitution haijakuwa kwa manufaa sana kwa vijana ambao wako kwa biashara kama wewe.
Kama unakumbuka last time kulikuwa na maandamano ya vijana. Sisi walipenda hii Constitution ikuwe wakaandamana. Vijana wenyewe wanaona hakuna kazi, hakuna yoyote. Hawana huko vijana tu wanakuwa tu wanazurura wakafanya hadi maandamano. But after president vijana walitulia. So sasa kupata project inaweza fanya collect. Vijana wengi wamesoma, wengi wamepata degree lakini sema kweli sioni kama
So kwa kifupi hii sheria inafaa iangaliwe tena kwa maslahi ya vijana.
Vijana vile walisikilizana vijana last time, inafaa serikali kae chini wajue vile watafanya na vijana.
Alright. Asante.
Kimoja.
Haya.
Good afternoon, guys. Yeah, it's a pleasure having you guys this afternoon. Just to discuss youth matters as far as the 2010 Constitution is concerned. So briefly, do you mind telling me your name and what motivates you to be part and parcel of this great panel?
So my name is Alice Mani, a student at Mamboleo Aviation. Actually, I'm a student leader and I'm interested about youth activities. So,
My name is Henry John. I'm a youth activist at Seminary Organization. Actually, I'm the leader there.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So what generally can you say about the 2010 Constitution as far as youth matters is concerned? What can you tell about it?
The 2010 Constitution actually is a good one because 30% of the time has been awarded, but goes to the youth, and this help the youth in their projects, which is a good thing. Yeah.
it also gives the youth the chance to participate in general decision making when it comes to government and to politicians. We are free to decide on which we want.
Yeah, and actually also it has given the youth a platform to, even vote at some point.
Yeah.
Because in the past it wasn't like the youth were not even allowed, but in the 2010 Constitution they are allowed to vote.
Great. Apart from what you guys have just mentioned, is there any other thing that is there in the 2010 Constitution that you feel is pro the interest of young people? We've talked about the 30% tender that is a guarantee by the government. You've also mentioned issues to do with the liberty to young people to participate in the democratic process through voting rights. What else do you feel is really of interest to the young people in the 2010 Constitution?
What is really of interest is the support that the 2010 Constitution has. The support is
it's really good. When you talk about support, what comes to your mind?
in terms of the TVET, the government comes in hand and supporting the TVETs where the youth can get employment.
Yeah, so you say the 2010 Constitution has led to the mushrooming of the TVETs that are fully installed, and they give young people skills that are necessary for the job market out there. Yeah, that's also something beautiful to observe. What else do you think is right?
It also gives the youth, the opportunity to air their views when they want them through demonstration. Through demonstration is the right to the Constitution. Yeah, you have the right to demonstrate in which you want. So the youth have. I can see it's really of interest.
Oh, beautiful. So we're talking about the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution, and you've already mentioned some of the rights. Is the right for young people to air their grievances. Can you give me one scenario where you feel the young people have really utilized that constitutional provision? One scenario or one experience that you feel the young people.
Just the other day, as they are announced the new budget, the youth are not compliant with it, so they made a demonstration and the budget was brought down. So there I can say the youth their right to demonstration quite easy. You see, the budget was dropped. Yeah.
Talking about the 2024 finance bill that sparked a lot of emotions and brought in a lot of issues in the country. Speaking about the young people, what's in that bill was it anti the young people? If you read the bill itself.
What I can say is, you see, the taxation is so high, and the youth nowadays, there's no employment. Not so many youths are employed nowadays. You see, maybe a youth is earning around 3,000, you see the tax is very high. Once they slash the tax, you find it is maybe 1,000 bob, of which is not helping the youth. Yeah, that is I think that's what fueled the youth to demonstrate.
And then as a lady, I also had, there were also protests to do with issues to do with sanitary towels. What can you say about it? Because it also sparked some controversy as far as the bill is concerned. What can you say about sanitary whatever?
Yeah, so what I can say is that most of us really suffer to get the sanitary towels. So when they were about to raise in fact they raised the amount of the sanitary pads. And like I say, it's really challenging to most of the ladies to get just to get that money to just buy that sanitary pads. Yeah, so you find a lot of ladies doing just suffering out there.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And just an insight. Do you think the 2010 Constitution has been able to address some of the youthful issues and challenges?
Some, you can say some have been addressed.
Yes,
Some have been addressed. You see, there's this issue of having youth leaders, but you can see in our government today, the leaders there, they are not youth. So they don't know the feeling of the youth, how the youth are suffering out here, and yet they claim that they are our leaders. So for me, I would say just introduce something like just a youth baraza or a youth senate, so that we can at least air our issues to our leaders, so that they can be addressed at some point. Yeah.
Exactly. So for you feel, and you've already given us even some of your prospective solutions to be able to deal with some of these issues.
Yeah.
And to you, my sister, do you feel 2010 Constitution has been able to address effectively the youth issues?
Somehow, I don't think so, because when it comes to youth employment, most of the youth are not employed, and most suffer,
Most of them suffer. And also, just like a study, the Constitution gives 30% of the government tender to the young people, but that is still a challenge because it hasn't been effected yet.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's still a big challenge amongst the young people to be able to compete effectively in terms of tender processing?
You see, the government say that we give 30%, but you find almost like 10% comes to maybe to the youth. This makes a challenge because these tenders, the ones that goes to the TVET, you find some of the TVET are not well equipped to support the youth. Find you go there, you want to learn this skill, but the equipment to learn that skills are not there. So you find the youth goes home without doing anything. So there's not even created employment to support. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. Now, so as young people, what role do you guys think you have to play as far as in the constitution making process? Do you think you have a role to play, and what is that role that you all have to play?
Yeah, actually the youth, we have a very big role to play because we as the youth, we are the ones to influence our leaders in the constitution making. We're supposed to give our, let's say, if there's something in the constitution that maybe the youth are not compliant with, it's our duty to to air out and say we don't want this, we want this. If something is not there, we can say that we want this to be there, so that maybe it will benefit us, the youth.
Right. I totally get. What about you? What do you think? What is your role as a young girl, especially you being as one of the student leaders? What do you think is, how would you mobilize the young people under your domain to be able to be part and parcel of constitution making?
First of all, what I can say is unity. I know when we youth come together and agree on a certain thing, on what we want, and they are out our views, I think we will really participate and really be engaged in everything that we want. So just we can work together. If it even takes to maybe demonstrate like the recent GLZs did, to get what you want, that's what we have to do.
And another thing is, you see, information is power. When the youth learn about the constitution, how it runs, then it will be impactful on them because they will be informed, and that's how they can say this will not benefit us, this will benefit us, we need this to change. See? So what I can say is we need to educate our youths on their rights and how the constitution works. Yeah.
Beautiful, for a beautiful conversation. Now, so that the constitution does not be, the 2010 constitution is still a young constitution. Yeah, of course, it has matured because it has taken close to, it's almost taking close to a decade. But again, I still feel there is a lot of loopholes that comes with it, and it takes the hands of young people to be able to, affect the constitution. So, in your opinion, your different opinion, what do you think the young people should do to be able to safeguard the constitution so that it does not be interfered with? Yeah, what do you think the young people can do?
You see, the youths have the right to demonstrate. What I feel is when they see something is going wrong, they have the right to demonstrate and say this is wrong, we don't want this, we want to be done this way. You see, sometimes you find a leader will come and make the leader corrupt, and the youth see that this leader is corrupt. They have the right to expose the leader, to get another leader.
What do you think?
I think just to speak out against corruption, or if they see anything that is not right and that is not included in the constitution, they should just stand up and speak against it. Mostly corruption. Yeah, that's what you should do that's what they should do maybe to protect our constitution from being embezzled.
Yeah, alright. Now, there is a sparkling debate about the increase in term limit. And I feel this is a legislation that is not a matter of priority, given that there are so many things that are a priority as a nation. And especially, what's your take in regards to the increased term limit discussion?
For me, I don't agree on increasing the term limit of the president. The 5 years is enough because we need new ideas. Because if you say for this leader for that long, we'll get used to this leader. Maybe you find whoever is vying for this thing, maybe just wants to stay in power for long. And you see, for a country, we need new ideas to come. And after 5 years, we need someone new at least to get something new for the country. Understand?
What's your take?
For me, I can say I know people are different, and for a president to vie for that seat, maybe he has one that project that maybe he has put in mind, and I say that maybe maybe if I'm given like just 5 years is not enough, maybe if I'm extended, if that time is extended, maybe I'll finish my projects. And that's why you always find most of the presidents going for like 2 terms. Yeah, after 5 terms, they also want to get the other term. So I can say maybe that exceeding the 5-year term, it's something nice maybe for some because they want to maybe accomplish what they have started.
So in short, for you, you're pro of the discussion.
Yeah.
But for you, you're anti it.
The 5 years is just enough.
5 years is just enough. And in place of 2 years, it's just, to you, it's a pain. Exactly. So that marks the end of our conversation with the young people. I sincerely appreciate you for your time and your general insights as far as the 2010 Constitution is concerned, and some of the issues that are bedeviling us as a nation that feel it takes the youthful drive, energy, and morata to be able to put it to the next level. It was a pleasure having you on the bench, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good afternoon. Today we are joined by one of the beneficiaries of the cash transfer program, one of the programs that have been enacted in the new constitution that serves the elderly. I'll give him an opportunity to introduce himself and tell us much about himself, what he does, what he thinks about the constitution as far as the elderly is concerned, and much insight, and will give us much insights on the cash transfer. Good afternoon, sir. And can
Good
you
afternoon.
thank you. And can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, my name is George Odundo. George Odundo. Yes, I'm born in Homa Bay County. Yes, but now I live in Nairobi. Yes, and
So professionally, George, what do you do professionally?
as at now, I'm a retired teacher. Yes, so as at now, I'm just at home.
You're just at home.
Yes.
All right. Looking at the new, what can you tell about the new constitution as far as as far as the needs of the elderly is concerned? What can you cite about the new constitution?
The new constitution. The new constitution is good. It's only that they need to adjust something small about it. Yeah. To take care of the elderly.
To take care of the elderly.
Yes.
Apart from just something small to give to the elderly, what other thing do you think stands out in the new constitution that is of help to?
Another one is about the health. Health. Like SHA. They should take care of elderly people. Yes.
All right. Looking at the new constitution, there are certain clauses that I'm giving my reference to the new 2010 constitution.
Yes.
That has got some safeguards of that protects the rights, the fundamental rights of the elderly people. Do you think, in your own opinion, do you think there are such provisions in the new constitution that take care of the elderly?
Yes, there was a provision about taking care of elderly people, but putting it in practice has been the problem. Yes, because you may be elderly, you have got children, then they leave you alone at home. That has been a problem. So the provisions are there, but actualizing the Yoshida.
All right. Okay. Now, so can you kindly?
Sorry, is the problem.
All right. Can you tell us a bit about the cash transfer? What do you understand by the cash transfer that is in the constitution, and just tell us something bit about it.
Cash transfer is a small amount or something small. The elderly are supposed to be given. Yes, to help them move or continue living well. But it's not enough. Yes, it is very small. Yes. So we are only asking that if they can add something small so that it becomes a little bit better.
All right. And then, can you kindly take us through the process of registering for the cash transfer program? What are some of the processes that you people incur?
There are people processing. There are people who walk around. They take the details of yourself, the details of your family, and only that one. But those people, they are also not very easy to get there. Yes.
All right. So you're trying to say that as much as there's a provision in the constitution, not so many elderly people get access to this cash transfer.
No, not everyone can get that access because they are not registered. Yes.
Oh, quite unfortunate. Another thing that are also of interest is that, in your opinion, what has been the impact of cash transfer program? Being a beneficiary to some degree, do you feel it has created some sort of impact?
At least it has created some impact because you can get small money and buy medicine and buy food, but it's small. But it has helped people in buying food and buying medicine. For those of us who are unwell. Yes.
So you've mentioned that some of the shortcomings of this cash transfer, stipulated in the constitution, is that it's not really enough to cater for your needs.
No, it is not enough.
Now, what will be your what will you propose moving forward? Maybe as a way of as well as amending the constitution as far as that provision is concerned under the Social Welfare Act, what needs to be done to ensure that this provision it creates impact, it creates sense to beneficiaries like you, so that you don't have to feel like it's kind of a shortcoming, or you're not feeling the benefit of it. What do you think, in your opinion, needs to be done?
What they need to do, they need to add something small about it. Yes. Number two, where to get the money from. Let them transfer the cash on our phones, not in your account, on our phones, because the phone has got all details. Yes.
So
it will reduce the transport issue.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, in your opinion, is you're trying to say that there has to be necessary legislations to ensure that at least the cash stipend that you people receive is increased from, is it 2,000 right now?
It should be more than that now.
Yeah,
they should increase it.
They should increase it,
yes,
through an act of parliament, right?
Indeed.
And also, you've also mentioned that it's quite cumbersome for for you people to be moving all the way to the bank to receive it.
Indeed.
Especially for people who are elderly and people who are disabled to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah. So you propose that probably in the next legislation under the Social Welfare Act, they have to use phone transfer.
Yeah, phone transfer.
But do you think phone transfer has got can bring about some sort of limitations? What about that person who cannot access a phone? Don't you think it has got demerits?
No, it does not have demerits. Because the other one I've just forgotten. The other one, the bad part of it, you may have young people who may rob you. You go to the bank, they know tomorrow so and so is going to get money. They will rob you on the way. But on phone, you just have the money at hand, which is good. Yes.
All right. So with that, I think you've already mentioned to us much about the cash transfer stipulated in the Constitution, and what are your feelings toward them, and what you think maybe needs to be improved through an act of legislation to ensure that the cash transfer services, they better up the lives of the beneficiaries.
Yes.
Yeah, and your parting shot to this.
I would also tell them, let them take something, let them add the elderly people on SHA.
On SHA.
Yeah.
All right.
Social Health Authority. That will help elderly people. Yes.
Okay. All right, Basi, thank you so much for your time, Mr. George, and have
welcome.
Hi, habari yako?
Nzuri.
Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Vivian.
All right. Kutoka wapi?
Mimi ni mwanafunzi wa college.
Mwanafunzi wa college.
Yeah.
Hiyo ni sawa. Kama mwanafunzi, na kulingana na hii 2010 constitution, unaweza semaje, imeweza kukusaidia kama mwanafunzi kweli? Unaona manufaa yake kama mwanafunzi?
Hapana.
Kwa nini?
Juu itusaidii, juu kuna basari zenye walisema tupatiwe na itusaidii juu ifike hadi kwetu kwanza, na hizi tusaidia kwa kulipa karo. Sisi wenyewe ndio tuna struggle. Tuna struggle.
So kwa kifupi kile kuna kipengele katika sheria ambayo inawezesha nyinyi kama wanafunzi kupata karo, yeah. Lakini kulingana na wewe unaona hiyo karo haikusaidii, hiyo pesa haikusaidii.
Hainisaidii. Bado tuna struggle kuipata. Sisi ndio tunatafuta.
Na sasa wewe, kwa maoni yako, unaona wanasheria wanafaa wafanye nini angalau kile kipengele ambacho kiko kwenye sheria iweze kukusaidia, kile ambacho kinaguzia mambo na karo kwa wanafunzi, angalau hiyo pesa iweze kukusaidia, iweze kuongezwa ikusaidie?
Wanafaa ku take note that watusaidie, wakuwe kwa makini, watusaidie tu.
So wewe, kifupi what you are trying to say is that the government, there should be the legislation should increase the funding to colleges.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hiyo ni poa. Asante sana kwa muda wako.
Karibu.
All right. Yes, habari zenu?
Nzuri.
Niko salama.
Niko salama.
Mimi pia niko salama. Sasa kwanza mtajitambulisha, mimi naitwa nani na unaitwa nani pia?
Mimi naitwa Empress.
Oh, Empress. Empress ni jina yako ama ni jina ya kifahari tu? Okay. Na unaitwa nani?
Kitunga.
Kitunga.
Yeah.
Oh, so Kitunga wewe unafanya nini?
Mimi nilimaliza university na maisha huku nje naona si mazuri sana vile, maana
mazuri sana. Yeah. Na wewe ulimaliza university na wewe unafanya nini?
Nimeshamaliza college.
Okay. Sasa nitauliza maswali mbili tofauti kulingana na constitution yetu na kulingana na chenye mnafanya. Sasa nitaanza na wewe ambao ulimaliza college. Na swali langu ni rahisi sana. Ukiangalia constitution ya Kenya 2010 ina safeguard interest ya the youth, especially the girl child. Wewe kwa maoni yako unaona hii constitution imeweza sua ku safeguard interest ya youth na wasichana to be specific wasichana?
Madem tunauliwa sana. Madem wengi huko nje yuko safe. Na ukiona saa hii unaweza huko nje madema watembee usiku kwa sababu hawezi tembea wakiwa wako sawa. Wanatembea na uoga
hivi.
Sasa inafika kutoka saa 3 huwezi pata demu yoyote nje. Unapata ama wakiwa nje in the next 2 weeks ama wani kunasikia kuna mdemu zaliuliwa huku mara huku. Sasa mademu watakusia.
Na mara nyingi katika ile harakati ya kuuliwa kwa wasichana unapata kuwa hizi kesi zikienda kotini watu wapati haki, aidha hakuna haki ama haki uchukua muda refu sana. Ni ukweli?
Kwa sababu ingekuwa inachukua muda kidogo, sasa madem tungekuwa safe. Sasa tungekuwa tunakaa na amani.
Mnapata haki.
Tunapata haki yetu vizuri.
So wewe kulingana na maoni yako unaona hii 2010 constitution haijakuwa kwa manufaa yenu vile, ama haijaweza kupunguza hizi kesi za femicide, si ndio? Yeah. Na kulingana na jinsi ambavyo unaona mambo yakiendelea, ungeshauri aje wanasheria wafanyaje? Wageuze sheria kidogo ama watilie mkazo sheria angalau iweze kulinda wasichana?
Jaribu kutetea haki ya wasichana
na kufanya hivyo labda waweze kukuja na zile sheria ambazo ukipatwa umeua mwenzako ufungwe kwa maisha, ama wewe pia upitie tu ile hali tu ya kupelekwa na kumalizwa vile tu jinsi ambavyo kumaliza mwenzako.
Afadhali kufungwa maisha than kuuliwa kama mwenzako.
Kwa sababu kwa sasa unapata kuwa mtu ambaye amepatwa kwa katika kisa kama hicho, unapata kuwa anapewa tu miaka chache ama 50 ama 20 na wewe kwa maoni yako unaona hizo ndio vitu ambazo zinaendeleza mambo kama haya. Yeah. Okay, na asante sana kwa maoni yako. Sasa asante sana. So acha nimsikize huyu ndugu yangu. Habari ndugu? Umesema ya kwamba wewe ulimaliza chuo kikuu.
Yeah.
Na as someone mwenye alimaliza chuo kikuu na kulingana na 2010 constitution. Yeah. Lipi unaweza sema ni hii 2010 constitution imeweza kukufaidi kama mtu ambaye alimaliza shule kulingana na sheria ambazo ziko, ama unaona ya kwamba haijakusaidia?
Haijasaidia. Yeah, maana vijana wengi ambao tulimaliza tunahangaika huku nje, hakuna kazi. Kwa hivyo hii bado tusaidia sana vile. Yeah, kwa hivyo ninaomba waheshimiwa waweze kutusaidia sisi ambao tulimaliza chuo kikuu, kwa sababu na sisi tuweze kwa mambo na kazi tuwe tutapata tutakuwa ni vyema sana, lakini hivi tunahangaika sana.
Unaposema waheshimiwa wasaidie wale ambao walimaliza mtihani, nini haswa wasaidie kivipi sasa?
Kupata kazi, tuweze kujitegemea pia sisi, maana tunapitia shida ngumu sana huku mitaani.
Lakini ukiangalia 2010 constitution inapatia, kuna kipengele ambacho kinapatia vijana nafasi nyingi kuweza kupata kazi either kwa serikali ama kwa private sector. Nini haswa huwa inafanya sheria kama hiyo isiweze kufanya kazi ama nyinyi kama vijana kuweza kuhisi kile kizuri ambacho kinakuja na hiyo sheria?
Hapo unatakikana sana wewe unajulikana kwa serikali ndio uweze kuajiriwa, lakini kama wewe ni mtu wa hivi tu ni ngumu sana, huwezi pata msaada wowote. Kwa hivyo ni pambane tu na hali yako.
Sasa kwa kifupi unajaribu kusema kuwa sheria ipo lakini alitiwi maanani. Okay. Sawa. Asante sana kwa muda wako. Na hadi siku nyingine tutapatana.
Asante.
Haya.